Welcome back to the Melanin Movie Vault. This is where we break down and revisit classic black films that shaped our culture. Okay, and today we're talking about my favorite movie, y'all. We are talking about one of the greatest black love stories of all time. That's right, Love and Basketball. Okay, Love and Basketball is a classic. If you don't know this movie, I mean, where were you? You must have been born in 2015. Okay, because this movie is it's a classic. Okay, um, Love and Basketball, written and directed by Gina Prince Brightwood. This is year 2000 classic. Okay, huge stars: Sanaa Lathan as Monica, Omar Epps as Quincy. All right, and this is the story of two childhood friends living in Los Angeles who bond over their love for basketball. They fall in love, they break up, and ultimately, y'all, they find their way back together. Okay, it's a journey of love, ambition, and figuring out what really matters in life. All right, but when I saw this movie, y'all, I had to be 12 or 13 years old, okay? And a lot of things went over my head. And circling back around to Love and Basketball, like I usually do, Love and Basketball is a movie that I typically watch, I would say at least once or twice a year. Okay, it's a comfort film. But I noticed things as an adult that I just didn't even peep when I was younger. I romanticized these things, okay? But today we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. I don't know how long we're going to be here, but get your popcorn, get your drinks, get your feel good wine, smoke, whatever you do. Get it and let's tune in and let's break down this movie, the classic Love and Basketball. All right? So first things first, we're going to hop into Act 1. Act 1. This movie is so beautiful how it broke down the basketball culture. Okay, I am a lover of basketball. I grew up playing basketball. My mother was a college basketball player. Both of my parents are tall. You know what I'm saying? My mom was a star basketball player in college, so she got a full scholarship. And so I grew up in basketball, and basketball is just so heavy in black culture. Okay, like we own basketball, let's just be real. And there's so much swag and there's just so much energy that comes with ballers. And yeah, I really resonated with this movie because I think they got that culture and that swag that basketball players have. They got it down pat. They did, okay? Because you gotta be confident. You gotta be a little cocky a little bit to be a very good basketball player. And I think this is something that Quincy and Monica, both related on. So they broke down this movie, y'all, by quarters. So as we know with the basketball game, we got quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four. So the movie starts with quarter one. All right. And this is a scene where, Monica and Quincy meet as kids. You know, Monica's family moved next door, and Quincy was outside with the boys in the neighborhood playing basketball. And here comes, the new kid on the block they think is a new boy that just moved in, asking can he play in the game. And when they say, yeah, y'all can play, you can play with us, long and behold, it's Monica. She has her hair up in a baseball cap. She takes her hair down out the baseball cap, and they're like, oh my God, it's a girl. It's a girl. But Monica was a heavy tomboy and she had skills. She was hooping. So she was like, yeah, I'm a girl, but I'm about to beat y'all. You know what I mean? And she did that. She did that. Quincy automatically felt threatened by Monica because he just couldn't believe that a girl could even be a good basketball player. So there was a level of respect that was just missing because, he grew up in a household where we're going to get into it as the movie gets, progressive. But Quincy grew up in a household where his daddy, the mega NBA player, he brought home the bacon. And his mama, was ironing shirts and ordering takeout or whatever. Like, so, Quincy didn't respect women like that. That's just the vibe I'm picking up on. He just didn't. All right. And so he was very just appalled by this young girl, Monica, being able to ball just as good as him or maybe better. So Monica is a tomboy who can hoop. Quincy, he's trying to follow his dad's footsteps. He's the neighborhood star. All right. But he's not taking Monica seriously, And after they play the one-on-one game, Monica proves, look, I'm just as good. But Quincy gets mad. He gets mad and they have their first fight and he pushes Monica. And this is how she receives this scar on her chin, her face. That we see the adult Sanaa Lathan. We see that scar as the film moves on. And I think that's pretty cool because I think Sanaa Lathan has that scar in real life because I see it in like all her movies. And so for them to incorporate that into the film was, very cool. All right. So it's funny, as this act progresses, the next day, Monica and Quincy, they want to be boyfriend and girlfriend because, it's always the girl that you picking on. It's always the boy you picking on that you really want to get with. So the next day, Monica's forced to wear this dress because her mama said, look, you a little girl, it's the first day of school in our new neighborhood, you're going to wear a dress to school. So her mama had to beat her into the dress basically. But the next day Quincy comes to pick her up. Boom. I want to be your boyfriend. Okay, what we got to do? Let's kiss. Okay, for how long? 5 seconds. Okay. Y'all, I could recite this whole movie, okay? But it's just, I love this movie because it just brings back the childhood memories. You know what I mean? Where people used to be like, ooh, they kissing in the hallway, in middle school and stuff. Like, ooh, it just childlike curiosity and innocence. And, they end up having their little kiss and then they get into a fight because Quincy, once again, he comes from a household where the man runs everything. So he told Monica, look, you can't ride your bike. You got to ride my bike. And Monica said, who got to ride your bike? I have my own bike and I'm riding my bike to school. And, that's where the beef, that's where the relationship ended right there. So there they are fighting again. And, the scene fades off. And that just, shows how they met. Okay. And so after that, we head into quarter 2. All right, quarter number 2. And it opens up, this is fast forwarding a few years and we see Monica is in high school. She's a star player. She's playing. She's hooping. You know what I mean? Quincy is also a star player. They're both players. But obviously, growing up in the 80s, 90s, whenever, we already know, even today, guy basketball players are just more popular. They're more known. They get more clout. And women basketball games often get overlooked. Not a lot of support, not a lot of fans. So this movie definitely portrayed the difference very, very well. Where we saw that like Monica's love for basketball was actually kind of like a hindrance to her. Her mom didn't really respect it. She was kind of pushed aside as the tomboy, not cute, not pretty, even though she was beautiful, but she was a tomboy. So people didn't see her beauty because she wasn't wearing tight dresses and stuff. So basketball was more of a hindrance to her in her life, even though she loved it. And with Quincy, it was more of like his birthright. Everyone expecting him to follow his dad's footsteps. He wants to be the star. He's going to be the star. Okay, so once we fast forward to high school, we see Monica and Quincy. Monica's sitting at one of Quincy's basketball games. Okay, and Quincy is the star and he's dripping sweat. And, we get a clip of, shout out to Gabrielle Union. She played one of the other students there who was trying to get at Quincy. Okay, AKA a groupie. Okay, she's feeling Quincy. She knows Monica is cool with Quincy, not in a sexual way, but she knows Monica is, lives next door. So she's like, hey girl, can you give this to Quincy, this letter? Because, I'm trying to hook up with him and I'm scared to give it to him. So reluctantly, Sanaa Lathan, aka Monica, agrees to give the letter to Quincy after the basketball game. So, after the basketball game is over, we see everyone asking Quincy, they have some press there and the newspapers asking Quincy, look, what school are you going to? Everyone wants to know where you're going to be recruited, of course, like what school, everyone wants to know. And he's, keeping tight lip, not telling nobody. And we just get the essence that he's a huge star. Okay? Anyway, who cares that he's a star? Because Monica is there to knock his big head butt back down to earth. Because she said, big head, I need a ride home. And he said, your legs don't look broke. What are you asking me for? And she said, boy, please, I'll be at your car. Okay? That's how you know you're real comfortable with somebody. Like, you don't even take what they say seriously. Like, boy, please, girl, please, I'm going to be at your car. So on the way home, Monica lets Quincy know, like, look, old girl, Gabrielle Union, her name is not coming up right now, but old girl gave me a letter for you, Quincy. Let's read it. Let's read it, see what it says. So Quincy's like thinking this is funny. He's like, yeah, read it, read it. So it says basically in so many words, you know, I want to take you to the spring dance. I promise I'll leave you satisfied. And Monica's like, ugh, she is a hoe. And Quincy's like, oh, she a hoe? Why she a hoe? Because she want to get with me? Monica said, no, she's a hoe because she's sending her coochie in the mail. Okay? That is a classic line from our movie Love and Basketball. And when she said that, y'all, I fell out. Like, that's like my favorite little lines to recite in this movie because it's just so funny. Um, you know, men's vantage points of situation versus women. So she's like, this girl's thirsty, and Quincy's like, nah, that's that girl with the big ass titties. Give me that letter. You know, so it's just so funny seeing them go back and forth. And you know, Quincy makes a comment jokingly to Monica and like, I mean, who are you taking to the dance? Spalding, which is the basketball, all right? Because we see Monica really just doesn't care about guys, you know, it's just all about basketball, and that's her main focus. And so Quincy makes fun of that. So they get home and go their separate ways, and we see the dynamic in both of their households. We get an inside view of how Quincy's living with his dad, who's never at home because he's a former NBA star, and his mama, who is very upset by this. She always seems upset or mad or, you know, finding stuff knowing that her husband is most likely cheating on her. Okay? She also makes note and tells Quincy, look, don't be letting these little groupies get you, you know, caught up, because I saw little earrings on the couch, and so I know you bringing home different girls, you know. And Quincy says, look, Ma, I'm not about to let these girls ruin what I got going on with basketball. Okay, but her mom notices something about her son that is similar to her husband. And you know, I didn't really peep this when I was a kid, but looking back on it now, it's like her mama knew that, for one, she knew her man was already cheating on her because he was never home or whatever, and it was just obvious at that point. But for two, she was fearful that her son was gonna follow into that man's footsteps. Like, she knew that if she did not change something, Quincy was just gonna end up being a duplication of his daddy, which would be a no good ass nigga. Excuse my language, but a no good ass man, y'all. Because at the end of the day, no matter the money, the fame, the fortune, you did your wife dirty and your son. Because if you were out here choosing to be gone 75% of the time for work because you a basketball player, and then the other 25% you still gone because you out there trying to have sex with other people outside of your marriage, yeah, you're doing your family dirty, okay? And so I think the mom knew Quincy was super close to following his daddy's footsteps, and so she had to, you know, call this behavior out. All right. So that's Quincy's household. That's where he's living at. And so we get a peek into Monica's household, and we see Monica coming home. Her mom's very excited about the school dance, and you know, already, I guess, I feel like she had her sister Lena, shout out Regina Hall. Y'all, it's some classic actors in this film, okay? But shout out Regina Hall, who plays Sanaa Lathan's sister. And she is a very, very devoted sister. We see that she had came to one of Monica's basketball games. And she also says, you know, Monica, I have someone who can go to the dance with you. Because I know you're not dating. I know you just care about basketball. I got somebody to hook you up with. Somebody in college, okay? So Monica's like, damn, I'm not a charity case, but you know what he looked like. Shoot. Like, I remember those days, y'all, when I was in high school and you say somebody was in college? College? What? Oh, you were grown. Okay? So That was a cute little scene, sisterly, and I really appreciated the fact that like they were so different, Monica and her sister, but they still had a bond. Okay, because we saw her sister, her older sister Lena, was all dressed up, always wearing skirts and jewelry and makeup. And Monica was just a tomboy with her basketball, and they still had a connection. Lena always braided her hair, and she was supporting Monica, and got her a date and all that. And I just thought that was really beautiful to see. Okay. Now, let's see, where do we lead off? So, here's what we get to. So, we get to the winter formal night. Okay. Very important scene, y'all. So, the winter formal night, we know that Sanaa Lathan has been hooked up by her sister Lena, aka Regina Hall, with her college friend. Okay. AKA Boris Kojo. Now, if we know anything about Boris Kojo, y'all, is that this man is fine. Okay? He's a model, for goodness sake. Boris Kojo started out as a model. So, Sanaa Lathan and Boris Kojo, just have to say they made a gorgeous couple. A gorgeous couple was made on this film with their little part, their little date. We see Monica getting ready for the date. Her mama puts her grandmother's pearls on her. She does her hair, her makeup. She's wearing a super cute dress. And Monica is just looking like a baddie, okay? A baddie circa 1980, whatever, 1990, I don't know. But she was a baddie nonetheless, okay? So she gets to the winter formal with Boris Kojo. She has a coat on. Nobody can see her. Boris is like, hey, can I take your coat? Takes her coat. Boris said, damn, Monica. Okay, you looking good. So he's checking her out because underneath that coat, y'all, Monica had on a little white, little half naked looking dress. I was like, okay, winter formal as a high schooler with that body tight dress on. Yeah, she looks very, very good. And so she catches the eye also of Quincy, who is with Gabrielle Union. Surprise, surprise. Okay, so he went with the groupie to the winter formal, and he ends up telling her, hey, hold on for a minute. I got to go see what's up with Monica. So he leaves and walks over to Monica and was like, okay, I see you, giving her little props, like you don't look half bad. And then Boris Kojo comes back and he's like, hey, what's up? Obviously looking a little jealous, right? So the two go their separate ways, and the whole night they're staring at each other. They are eyeing each other down, okay? I love this scene as well. And shout out to the soundtrack. I mean, this movie, it's my favorite movie, so I'm a little biased, but this movie may have one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. Not gonna lie. I mean, the music is impeccable. So at this time, I think Computer Love is playing. Very nostalgic vibes, that school dance type of energy, and they're just eyeing each other down, Quincy and Monica, while they're dancing with their dates, but secretly wanting to be dancing with each other. Okay, so the night ends, they both go back home, and we see Monica in her room. She gets a letter as she comes home, and gets in her bed. She gets a letter that, hey, it's from one of these schools that she's been trying to get recruited to. She wants to be a baller, but she ain't got no offers for no scholarships, okay? So she's just like, damn, what am I going to do? She gets home from the dance. She sees a letter, okay? At the same time, she sees that Quincy, they're next door neighbors. She sees that he just got home. So she goes to the window. Hey, Quincy, come outside. Quincy comes outside. They meet up at the window. Obviously, this is not their first time doing this. This is something they've been doing since they were children, okay? So they're outside, and she's telling him, the date with Boris was okay, but I really wasn't feeling him. I had to go home early because I wasn't feeling it. Quincy tells her, yeah, I really wasn't feeling Gabrielle Union either. She was trying to get with me, but I wasn't into it. So that's the first little sign that, okay, if Quincy is turning down the hoochies, he must have his eye on somebody else, aka Monica. So Monica, we see at this point right now just how much of friends they are. There was also a moment before this that I missed, which showed Quincy's parents arguing in the middle of the night, and he knocked on Monica's window, and Monica opened the window and threw some sheets and a blanket on the floor for him and a pillow, and Quincy proceeded to sleep on her floor. So I forgot to mention that, y'all. That's very significant because it shows us that the bond that they had was a friendship bond, and they were so used to each other in comforting times. And even the drama that Quincy was going through growing up, living in the house with his parents, Monica knew about that. Like, he confided in Monica about that. And I don't think a lot of people knew what was going on in his home life, so for him to confide in Monica, that showed a lot, to me, that they really were friends, first and foremost, like really good friends. So anyways, fast forward to this scene. This is the classic losing your virginity scene that we love to see in these black films, right? But Monica asked Quincy, look, can you open this letter for me? I'm super nervous. I don't know if I got into this school and got the scholarship. Open this letter for me. So she opens it, and long and behold, yay, she got into USC. She's officially going to be playing basketball for USC on a scholarship. She's so excited, so happy. Quincy's happy as well. They hug. And then Quincy reveals, I'm also going to USC. Monica looking shocked and excited. It's like, oh my gosh, get out. Next thing you know, y'all, they are swapping spit. Okay, Monica done jumped on that man. Shout out Omar Epps, because, this was in his prime, y'all. So they were both looking good. A young black couple looking great. So, Monica goes in for that kiss. Letting him know, look, I ain't over us. You know what I mean? Like, that kiss that happened when we were 8 years old. Yeah, I want that old thing back. Okay. And I think it's funny because, when they were kids, it was Quincy who wanted the kiss. And now, fast forward to high school, it's Monica that goes in for the kiss. And, she stops herself and it's kind of like, oh, my bad. Like, I shouldn't have did that. Quincy looks at her and pulls her in closer for another kiss. And then they start making out, y'all, all over the ground, all, on the ground outside the window. So after doing that for a bit, Monica's like, look, just come inside. Just come inside. So, Quincy was too excited. He got that invite inside, this time not as a friend, but as a lover. Okay, so they get inside and they proceed to have sex. They proceed to make love, and it was obvious that it was Monica's first time. It wasn't Quincy's first time, but he was very, very considerate. Maxwell's song, A Woman's Worth, once again, shout out to the soundtrack. You talking about a perfect scene to a perfect song? 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It really portrayed, like, the intimate moment when you decide to go there with a person and the vulnerability. And it was quick, it was over kind of quick, so it's like, I think that was also realistic, and it didn't seem like Monica completely enjoyed it, but she didn't completely hate it either, and that's pretty on point for women in their first time. So there we have it. We see them finally hook up. All right, and so that's the end of quarter 2, and we move right along to quarter 3. Quarter 3 is when we see Quincy and Monica at USC in college, playing college basketball. And it's opening with a montage of, once again, the differences between women's sports and men's sports. And we see, Quincy starting on his basketball team and, being a superstar freshman, and the whole stadium is full with Quincy fans and just nothing but happy moments and joy and stardom, right? Then we see Monica. She's struggling. She's the bench rider on the team. She's getting cussed out by her coach. She's getting bullied by her teammates. Like, she's not doing well. People are like, damn, why did you even get recruited? Basically, like, she's just really struggling to find her place in college basketball. And, you see this happen time and time again, y'all, where it's like, you could be a big fish in a little pond, or you can get to a big pond and be a little fish. And that's what happened with Monica. She was the big fish in her high school, obviously. And once she got to USC, she was just in a bigger pond with a lot more fish. And I don't think she could keep up, you know, with the pressure of that. And so we definitely see the differences in their college experiences. Okay, so as Monica struggles with USC, she keeps pushing through. She's working really hard, and Quincy's just having the time of his life. All right, we see that it's a lot of discussion in the press whether or not Quincy will drop out of college like his father did and go to the league. Okay, so a lot of speculation that Quincy will be getting drafted. Okay, now Monica, she's trying to figure out, like, how can I get in my coach's good graces? Like, I need to practice more. I need to stay late. I need to do everything I can do. Okay, so we get like a few cute scenes of Monica and Quincy being very lovey-dovey with each other, playing basketball for fun, strip basketball, and just having good times. Okay, then we move very quickly into the real of the situation, which shows the two different experiences that Monica and Quincy are going through. It's affecting their relationship. Okay, so Monica, she is staying late for practice. She can't do nothing wrong, or else she will not play in the game. And unfortunately, Quincy finds out during their basketball season that his daddy cheated on his mom. He goes home to see his mama, and she's depressed, and she has pictures from a private investigator that she hired showing that not only did his daddy cheat, but that the woman that he cheated with is quite possibly pregnant with his baby. All right, so this is just, oh my God, you talking about the ultimate betrayal. You talking about the ultimate betrayal. Okay, and that, it's just so funny because this is something that happens often, especially with men with money. It's not uncommon that they cheat, right? And so I just feel bad that this lady really, really trusted in her husband. It seems like she was with her husband before he was even successful. I'm not 100% certain, but it feels like she was just with him for a long time. And for him to cheat on her, after taking her best years and all this, it's just a terrible situation. Terrible. So Quincy's upset about it. He's distraught. He can't believe his daddy is cheating on his mama. He just can't get over it. It's totally ruined everything he has going on with basketball. So he's up late sulking, and Monica is sulking with him, just comforting him about this news, about his family. And then Monica's looking at the clock. She's like, I gotta go soon. I have curfew. If I don't make curfew, I don't play in tomorrow's game. Like, I'm trying to make something of myself here before I get dropped. Like, I'm struggling. And, Quincy takes that very personal. And he tells her to go. He was like, go ahead, go, go, go. So she leaves. He acts like everything's fine, but men have a hard time expressing their emotions, y'all. Sometimes they do. So under the surface, everything was not fine with Quincy. Quincy was very upset. And he let Monica know this, you know what I mean, by his behavior. So he didn't verbally tell Monica he was upset that she left because she had curfew, but he expressed it by his actions. And we see that he played very awful in the game the next day, probably because of all the things on his mind due to his daddy. Meanwhile, Monica had an amazing game. She scored the final point that won the game. All of her team is praising her. They're celebrating. And, she's at a party. And here comes Quincy, dark cloud energy. Okay, he comes in. This is what I say, y'all. Energy transfer is so real. Okay, so he comes in with his little nasty attitude because he lost his little game and his daddy cheated or whatever. And he's half drunk. And he's grabbing all on Monica all aggressively, but not talking to her emotionally, making her feel like a piece of meat, basically. And so she's like, get off. Like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, forget it. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm about to be out, And we see him holler at another person, another girl in the club, looking very suspicious. And he ends up leaving with a little attitude. So Monica's, pissed. She's like, okay, I'm going to let him sleep it off. He had a bad game. He's going through family shit. I'll see him tomorrow, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, which I'm telling y'all, don't give nobody the benefit of the doubt because they're trying to play you every time. Okay, but Monica lets bygones be bygones. She lets Quincy go sleep it off. He's drunk, and she'll meet up with him the next day. So the next day, she goes over to Quincy's apartment with his roommate, and she's, walking over inside the house, and Quincy is ironing his clothes like he's getting ready to go somewhere. So she looking like, what you about to go do? He like, oh, I'm about to go eat lunch with a friend, nothing much. She's like, oh, okay. So who's your friend? you know? Next thing we see, old girl from the club the night before, she walks in. And I forget this actress's name. What? It's not Melinda Williams. It's oh my god, she played in Players Club, and she was the little cousin of Lisa Ray, and I just can't remember her name, y'all. If you remember her name, drop it in the comments below. Um but yeah, so she's there to meet Quincy for a date. Okay? So disrespectful. Monica's like, "What? Word? You going on a date? A little lunch?" Quincy all nonchalantly like, "Yeah, you want to come?" Oh, okay. This is what we doing, huh? This is what we're doing. See, this is I can't. I can't with guys because y'all have a very hard time expressing your emotions, and this isn't every guy, okay? So if my boyfriend's listening to this, I ain't talking about you, baby. All right? But a lot of y'all have a hard time expressing your emotions, and instead of telling Monica, "Hey, I really don't like how you left me last night when I was vulnerable because you had curfew. I understand you had curfew, but it still hurt my feelings." Express that to her. She is your childhood friend. She is your girlfriend. Okay? Instead of doing that, you go out and emotionally neglect her, not be open and honest with her, and then you go and have lunch with another girl in front of her face to make her mad, to do what? You know what I mean? That's the shit I'm talking about, y'all. So, looking back and me being older, I'm like, that's the moment Monica should have dropped his ass. You should have dropped Quincy's ass on his ass right there and let that nigga get hit with a double whammy. Oh, you want to cry about your daddy? Oh, you want to cry about this basketball game? Cry about me dumping your ass because I'm not about to be beat up because you going through some shit with your daddy. Your cheating ass daddy ain't got nothing to do with me and our relationship. Okay? I mean, that's how I would have played it, being an adult. But, Monica, she's upset. She leaves. Quincy, feeling bad, he comes back the next that night to her dorm room, and he tells her, "Look, I'm tripping. I got a lot of stuff going on. I just took that girl to Burger King. It wasn't no real date." And Monica's like, "Look, you can't be doing this, but I'm willing to work on it with you through this hard time." Trying to be a good girlfriend, trying to be the support system, trying to be forgiving. And what does Quincy do, y'all? What does he do? He says, "Nah, you know what? This ain't really working for me no more. I'm about to go pro. I'm not even going to be at USC no more because I'm about to drop out and go pro." Monica's looking like, are you serious? Like, all because your daddy cheated. Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? And he just walks off. He just walks off and leaves her. She's sitting there heartbroken, confused, humiliated, all of the above. And when I tell y'all, Quincy was a piece of shit. Like, now that I'm older, I'm just like, I don't know if I would ever take that man back. I mean, that is just, it was wrong. It was wrong what he did. Because not only did he leave her, he wanted her to feel as if there was someone out there better than her and that she did something wrong. And it's like, all this girl's trying to do is make a name for herself. And it's like, you ain't even have to work hard to make a name for yourself. You just grew up the son of an NBA player and got that special treatment and got that celebrity spotlight and all that. And for you to guilt trip her and then leave her hanging over some shit like that, yeah, y'all, Quincy was wrong for that. Very wrong. And as we see the movie progresses and we get to our fourth and final quarter of the movie. And Monica has seemingly never gotten over her relationship with Quincy. Fast forward, I believe, maybe 4 years, 4 or 5 years, Monica is an adult. She's graduated USC and she's currently in Spain playing basketball overseas. All right. While she's out there, we see a little montage of her, doing her exercise, jogging to her game, being in the locker room with her team, who no one speaks English. You know what I mean? So she's not getting any interaction with anybody on her team. Um, she ends up running into one of her college nemesis. Nemesis, y'all, I don't know how to say that word, but this is her college enemy, okay? The girl who basically traumatized her while she was on the team with her. Sidra, I think her name was. Yeah. Anyway, she finds out that Sidra is playing the rival team from France. Okay, so they end up, meeting up for dinner that night, start laughing about old times, and Sanaa says, "Hey, do you ever think about going back to the States?" And, her old teammates like, "No, like what is there for us? Like we're basketball players. Like they treat us like queens over here. They pay us good money over here." She's like, "America don't give nothing about us. They don't care about us over there. Our old college teammate is working at McDonald's. So no, I'm staying over here in France and playing basketball for a living, And we see Monica with that look on her face like, I know there's nothing over there, but I may go back. All right. So the next clip we see is Monica packing up and leaving and back in LA. She's back at her mom's house and she is working at the bank with her father. Her father is a bank manager and has gotten her a regular job. So Monica has this regular job now. She's left the basketball field, the basketball career in Spain. It was very lonely. I think she never got over the heartbreak with Quincy, and she just preferred to be at home. So she's giving up on her dream essentially to come home and be more comfortable and close to her family. So as she's back in America, we see her going through her day-to-day life, learning her job at the bank, and she, hears on TV that Quincy, who plays for the Lakers now, he's professional, but he's not a star Lakers player. He is a bench warmer, okay? He is not a known player at all. He's been riding the bench, and he finally gets off the bench in this clip, and we see that he falls. He falls bad. He tears his ACL, all right? That is a very serious injury. It takes months and months to heal. And yeah, Sanaa Lathan, aka Monica, is very concerned. She's like, this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time to check on my ex. You know what I'm saying? So she goes to the hospital and we see her bring some flowers for Quincy. Quincy's in the hospital bed, his knees elevated, and we see that he is engaged to none other than Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks is this woman who seems to be, a supermodel type individual and very, glammy type of chick. And yeah, she's taking care of Quincy. They're canoodling, and he tells Monica, we're getting married soon. So Monica, obviously distraught over that information, she tries to hide it, cover it up. She's like, oh, wow. Wow. Well, congratulations. Okay. And this is when we see that she ain't over Quincy, y'all. She wants him back. And the fact he's getting married is really putting a light under her ass. And she's like, my man is about to be married to somebody else, So she's distraught. She's upset. She goes home. Her mama, shout out to her mama. Oh my goodness. I can't think of her name right now. Oh my God, her name's on the tip of my tongue, but she's an amazing actress. She plays the mom in Crooklyn as well. Alfred, I think her name Alfred something. Y'all drop her name if you remember in the description. In the comments below, okay? So anyways, Monica's fuming. She's pissed. She cannot believe Quincy's ass done really got engaged and is about to get married, okay? But she had to play it off. She gets home. Her mom's at home in a good mood, cooking pies, baking, doing what she do. She's a housewife. And Monica's just pissed. She about to take it out on somebody. And looks like her mom about to get it today. All right. So she tells her mom, she like basically, why you ain't tell me he's getting married? Like, why did you not tell me Quincy's getting married? And her mom's like, oh, I didn't think you cared. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He getting married to that waitress or stewardess, whatever. Just all nonchalant. And Monica goes off on her. And basically, you know, in the black world, she disrespected her mama. She did. She told her mama, look, you may be happy cooking and cleaning daddy's drawers and not doing nothing with your life, but I'm not. I'm not built like that, okay? And I wanted to play basketball and I wanted you at my games, but you weren't there. And her mom's like, it ain't matter if I was at those games. And she's like, it did matter, you know? So we get a very honest and pure moment with the mama and Monica. And, you know, it's significant in black households where sometimes that support is not there for your kids, you know? And maybe it's because, you know, parents have to work and we got so many jobs and this and those, so many kids, but your kids need you there. And thinking back when I was a kid, I was kind of shy and bashful. I didn't really care for my mom to be at my basketball games and stuff. But she made it her mission to always be in my games. And she told me it's because her parents didn't always go to her games. Her parents barely went to any games. So that really hurt my mom's feelings, you know? So Monica's being open and honest with her mother, like, look, I know you were different and you wanted me to be more girly, but I was a basketball player and I wanted you there to support me. And I felt like we was never on the same page. You know what I mean? So Monica did get the dog shit slapped out of her by her mama, but it was well deserved because she was cussing and stuff. And you know, by the end of it, they start to share a mutual bond, and I think a lot of things were released where Monica can finally see that other side of what her mom gave up for her family, because Monica, in her eyes, her mom's weak. Her mom was just a housewife. Her mom let her daddy walk in with pizzas and not even say nothing when she cooked a whole feast, okay? But in her mama's mind, she was just doing what she needed to do for her family, to keep the peace, to keep the family together. You know what I mean? She gave up her own catering dreams to support her children and her husband. And I think Monica has a full circle moment there because she's realizing that she's not a kid anymore. Things don't just magically turn out the way you want them to. Life happens, and sometimes you have to shift and bend. You know what I mean? So that was a sweet moment. And at the end of it, you know, Monica's mama tells her, look, I think you really deserve to be with Quincy over that stewardess, you know? So go get your man, basically. She gives her the okay to go get her man. All right. So we see after this, you know, Monica can't sleep at night. She tossing, she turning. And we see Quincy came home from the hospital. She sees him over there in the room across the street. And she says, look, enough is enough. She puts her gear on, her basketball gear. And she goes to tell Quincy, look, I want to play for your heart. I want to play for your heart. Which, girl, I mean, me being an adult now, never would that happen, okay? I'm not competing for this man. I'm not fighting for this man. If it's meant to be, it'll be. It won't be by me forcing the situation. That's for sure. That's just my personality, okay? But Monica said, nope, that's my man. I'm going to get him. I'm playing for his heart. So, you know, Quincy laughably is like, I mean, I'll play you or whatever, but I'm marrying my girl. Like, I'm marrying Tyra Banks. Like, this is ridiculous. Why you got me out here? So he already is like trying to humiliate Monica. Like, I don't know why Monica kept pushing to be with Quincy, to be honest. Now that we're grown, let's talk about it, because I just like I'm romanticizing some shit when honestly Quincy was a little bit of a fuck boy. And on top of that, he was very self-centered. You know, because you weren't the only one going through problems. And you're a grown ass man in college throwing away your whole career because your daddy cheated. Come on. I mean, you got to grow up. All right. So to me, looking back, Quincy was just very rude. And I don't think he really deserved to have Monica pursue him in the way that she did. All right. But that's neither here nor there. The final scene, very epic, very symbolic. They're playing for each other's heart. Well, actually, Monica is playing for Quincy's heart. Quincy has an attitude. He don't want to be out there. He's tired. He got a knee brace on. So, he's whooping Monica's ass basically. She can't even get a point in. She can't get a point in because this nigga, he's pushing her. He acting like she a dude, screening, passing, shaking, jiving. He's scoring all types of points on her. Okay? And she's starting to panic now. She like, oh my God, I have humiliated myself. This man don't want me. This man don't want me. You could literally see the panic in her face. So shout out to Sanaa Lathan because you did that scene, girl. You really did. Both of y'all did. Um, but yeah, by the end of it, y'all, she's about to cry because Omar, aka Quincy, just hit the game winning shot. And once again, shout out to the soundtrack, okay? Because I always have tears well up in this moment in the movie. Um, just as Monica turns away to just accept defeat, accept that Quincy no longer wants her, Quincy turns to her and says, double or nothing. Like, I don't want to be done. Like, come on, just come on. Let's play again. AKA, I want to be with you. You know what I mean? You won. You got me. Okay. I'ma drop my girl. Okay. So it's a cute love story. Monica, Quincy, they're back together again, and we see a montage of them married. Monica's playing for the WNBA. Obviously, WNBA had just been organized, so she's one of the first in the league. And Quincy's there supporting her with their daughter, and they seem to live happily ever after. Okay? But as much as I love that movie, y'all, it's just so many points of the movie where I'm like, this is not realistic. And Monica was really a damn fool. And I would love to see like a recap, a sequel to this movie, and I would love to know, did Quincy follow his dad's footsteps? Did Monica and Quincy stay together, married to raise their children? Did she continue to play basketball? It's just so many unanswered questions. But me not being cynical and just loving this movie from the first time I saw it as a 13, I think I was 12 or 13. I just love this movie. I fell in love with it. And over the years, it definitely has different meanings as I watch it from different vantage points. I'm older, I'm wiser, and I'm seeing things differently. But at the end of the day, this is a masterpiece. This is a timeless masterpiece. I love this movie every time I watch it. I can recite the words front to back to front. And the cast is A1. Okay? It's an all-star cast. So I just love this movie. It's dear to my heart. This is the first movie of the Melanin Movie Vault series. Make sure y'all are subscribed to Melanin Me channel because we're about to go through all the hits, okay? All the hits. If y'all have some hits, black classic films you want me to break down and review, leave them below and we will get into the discussion, okay? Until next time, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. I'll see y'all later.